Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha TV. I am Aishwarya Kapoor with you, and here are the latest headlines that we are tracking this hour. At least 22 people killed in fire in hospital in Odisha. Reports say fire broke out due to short circuit in dialysis ward. Chief Minister orders proof. Prime Minister offers central assistance. A day after attending BRICS summit, China backs ally Pakistan says it is against linking any country or religion to terrorism. This after Prime Minister Modi's remark calling Pakistan mothership of global terror. Supreme Court to hear Karnataka's plea challenging Cauvery Tribunal's order. Court to hear plea a day after high-level panel submits assessment report on issue. Report says Karnataka and Tamil Nadu facing acute water crisis. And Iraq's military inflicts heavy losses on Islamic State as operations to recapture Mosul enters the second day. United Nations warning for over 1 million people in the city caught in crossfire. Where our top focus this morning, at least 22 people have been killed after a fire broke out in a hospital in Bhubaneswar in Odisha. Now, the state government has ordered a high-level probe into it. The Prime Minister has also directed officials to offer all possible help to treat the patients.
In one of the worst such incidents involving hospitals in Odisha, a massive fire broke out at the Institute of Medical Sciences and some hospital on Monday evening. The fire is suspected to have been triggered by an electric short circuit in the dialysis ward on the first floor of the hospital. It then spread to the nearby ICU.
19 people have been confirmed to be dead. When we have received 19 bodies in the two hospitals, Hamid and Capital Hospital.
More than 500 indoor patients were trapped inside the building when the fire broke out. At least 7 fire tenders were pressed into service to control the blaze, and over a dozen ambulances deployed to shift the critical patients to other hospitals. Many patients were rescued by breaking window panes. Many of the victims suffocated to death.
माननीय मुख्यमंत्री ने आरडीसी लेवल इंक्वायरी का ऑर्डर किया है, तो आरडीसी सेंट्रल डिवीजन वो इंक्वायरी करेंगे.
Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik described the incident as very tragic and directed government hospitals to provide necessary treatment to patients. The state government says it will review the situation and decide whether a police case needs to be registered.
Permission is given by the fire department, but implementation is the responsibility of the hospitals. And we will now make sure that all hospitals are strictly following whatever precautions have to be taken.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed anguish over the incident and directed officials to offer all assistance to the state. Health Minister JP Nadda also directed AIIMS Bhubaneswar to provide all necessary support.
स्वास्थ्य मंत्री जी को उन्होंने निर्देश दिया एम्स की ओर से सारे व्यवस्था करनी चाहिए. मेरे को भी उन्होंने निर्देश दिया कि वहां की एम्स के साथ बातचीत करके हमारी ओर से सारा सहयोग राज्य सरकार को मुहैया करवाने के लिए मैंने वहां की एम्स की डायरेक्टर से भी बात की. उन्होंने सारा व्यवस्था वहां भी लगाई है.
The state government says it will bear the cost of treating all the 106 patients who have been shifted to various hospitals. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
All right, let's get an update on the ground situation there. Mr. Hari Bharati, who's a local journalist, is joining us on the phone line. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us this morning, sir. Big horror coming in from Bhubaneswar. 22 people killed in hospital fire, and we understand that short circuit is likely to be the reason. What is the ground situation at the moment?
Yeah, sir, 19 people have already, 19 patients have already died, and postmortem is over by 5:30 morning. Health secretary and district magistrate and other senior officers were present at that place, and 106 patients had been admitted in various hospitals and at the cost of government. Odisha government will bear all the cost of treatment, and a high-level inquiry order has been given by Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik and RDC will inquire the matter and will give a report. Then action will be taken against these hospitals and some other hospitals. Against some other hospitals, some major steps can be taken by the government of Odisha.
Mr. Hari, we understand that 3 SUM hospital employees have also been suspended. Can you confirm that for us?
Hello?
Mr. Hari, can you hear me?
Yeah.
No, I was asking you that we understand that there are reports that 3 SUM hospital employees have also been suspended. Can you confirm that for us?
Not confirmed because this is a private hospital, and till now no such report has been given by this hospital. And all patients, more than 500 patients have left that hospital, and entire hospital is now vacant. And the ICU and other dialysis ward is sealed by police for further investigation. And after that investigation, only something can be told why this incident has been taken.
All right, Mr. Hari, thank you so much for joining us this morning. So Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik has already ordered a probe. Now the centre has also offered all assistance. We'll keep tracking all those developments from Odisha and keep coming back to you. Thank you so much. All right, let's move on in the bulletin. The Director General Military Operations, the Foreign Secretary and Home Secretary will brief the Parliamentary Standing Committee on External Affairs on the surgical strike carried out by the Army on terror launch pads. Now, the parliamentary panel is headed by Congress MP Shashi Tharoor, and it will be meeting today when the briefing on Indo-Pak relations with a specific reference to recent surgical strikes will be done. The meeting assumes a significance as the government had earlier expressed reservations over briefing the Parliamentary Committee on Defence on the same topic. However, after initial reluctance, the Parliamentary Panel on Defence headed by BJP MP BC Kanduri was briefed by Vice Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Bipin Rawat on the surgical strikes. And in related news, Home Minister Rajnath Singh mounted a scathing attack on Pakistan, stating that the entire establishment in the neighbouring country is engaged in fueling terrorism in India. Now, addressing the two-day regional editors' conference in Chandigarh, Singh said that this attitude of Pakistan is making the management of Indo-Pak border challenging. He also warned Islamabad that those who breed snakes get bitten by them. He accused Pakistan of adopting a very flexible approach to deal with terrorism. Now, Singh asserted that India is against Pakistan-sponsored terrorism and does not breed any hatred towards Pakistani people. He further said that if Pakistan is keen to wipe out terror, India will assist it to do that, especially in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir.
अगर पाकिस्तान का इंटेंशन यदि साफ रहे तो भारत भी पाकिस्तान में पाक ऑक्युपाइड कश्मीर में आतंकवाद के खिलाफ अभियान चलाने में पाकिस्तान की मदद कर सकता है। यदि पाकिस्तान चाहे तो भारत की मदद ले सकता है। भारत मदद देने को तैयार है।
Meanwhile, the Congress has criticised the Defence Minister for his remarks on the surgical strikes and the army, now calling his views an embarrassment. Party spokesperson Manish Tewari charged Parrikar with giving credit to the RSS for the surgical strikes.
The Defence Minister is very quick to credit everyone from mythology to the RSS for the operations along the LOC. This leads to two inescapable conclusions. Number one, Manohar Parrikar does not deserve to be the Defence Minister of India. Number two, that the operations along the LOC were unfortunately targeted more at domestic consumption rather than changing the behavior of the deep state in Pakistan.
And a day after Prime Minister Narendra Modi called Pakistan a mothership of terrorism, China strongly defended its all-weather friend, saying it is against linking any country or religion with terror. Now, responding to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's comments during the BRICS summit, China's foreign ministry said that it is against the linking of terrorism to any specific country, ethnicity or religion. Now, China Foreign Ministry spokesperson also said that everyone knows that India and Pakistan are victims of terrorism. Pakistan has made huge efforts and great sacrifices in fighting terrorism. I think the international community should respect this, unquote.
加合作10年发展金融危机冲击，在重大国际和地区问题上共同。
Meanwhile, Bihar Chief Minister and JDU President has once again come out in support of the central government and Indian Army against terrorism and for the strikes across the line of control in Pakistan-administered Kashmir. However, Nitish Kumar targeted the BJP and Prime Minister Narendra Modi for taking credit for the army's surgical strikes and making it a political issue in the country. He also said that the centre must stop writing love letters to Pakistan and reply to them in the language they understand.
देश पर अगर कोई खतरा आएगा रहेगा हम सब एकजुट होकर केंद्र के साथ रहेंगे, देश की सेना के साथ रहेंगे। लेकिन बाकी उसको इंटरनल पॉलिटिक्स का एजेंडा जो बनाना चाहते हैं उसके ट्रैक पे हम नहीं जाएंगे। हम अपना जो विकल्प का एजेंडा है उस पर चलेंगे।
Let's move on in the bulletin. Vice President Mohamed Hamid Ansari is in Algeria on the second leg of his two-nation tour. Earlier in Hungary, he addressed students at the Cauvery University in Budapest. He said that public disaffection from the functioning of elected bodies is breeding cynicism with the democratic process itself. He also said that it is imperative that corrective measures are taken to reinforce public confidence in the ability of the system to deliver.
On the last day of his Hungary visit, Vice President Mohamed Hamid Ansari visited Cauvery University. Speaking on the achievements and challenges of the Indian democracy, he said, though public participation in the electoral exercise has increased, lots needs to be done to sustain public faith in democratic institutions.
The superstructure of a democratic polity and a secular state structure put in place in modern India is anchored in the existential reality of a plural society.
The Vice President stressed on the removal of malpractices ravaging the electoral system. He said that no state funding is possible without radical reforms in poll campaign and political finance.
At the same time, living societies also introspect from time to time, recall their foundational principles, and assess the work still to be done. These, in India's case, are inscribed in the preamble and the text of the Constitution.
Interacting with students, the Vice President added that India does not believe in lobbies and power blocks. He exhorted the age-old Indian dictum that the world is one family. After wrapping up his Hungary tour, the Vice President reached Algeria on the second leg of his two-nation tour. He was received at the Hawari Boumediene International Airport by the Chairman of the People's National Assembly, Mohamed Larbi Ould Khalifa, and other members of the government. He was accorded a ceremonial welcome and inspected a guard of honor. The Vice President later visited the El Alia Cemetery in Algiers and paid tribute to the memory of the martyrs of the National Liberation War. The Vice President is set to meet the top leadership and discuss bilateral ties with them. Sandeep Yash and Chetan Datta's report from Algiers, Algeria, for Rajya Sabha TV.
And we'll take a very short break here. More news on the other side. Stay with us.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries.
Welcome back after the break. Now, in an unprecedented order, the Supreme Court on Monday summoned Justice Markandey Katju to appear in person before it to point out the fundamental flaws as claimed by him in the sensational Soumya rape case. Now, while issuing notice to Justice Katju, the bench quoted his Facebook post criticizing the Soumya case verdict, which said it is regrettable that the court has not read Section 300 carefully. The judgment needs to be reviewed in an open court hearing, unquote. In his Facebook post, Justice Katju had criticized the apex court, saying it had grievously erred by not holding the convict Govindachamy guilty of murder in the case. The bench also kept the review petitions filed by Kerala and Soumya's mother in abeyance, saying it would debate with Justice Katju on his Facebook post. Now, following the apex court's order, the state as well as Soumya's mother had filed review petitions. News from down south now, and a 3-judge bench of the Supreme Court will begin hearing the Cauvery water dispute today, a day after a high-level panel formed by the centre submitted its assessment report on the issue. Now, in its report, the panel said that both Karnataka and Tamil Nadu are facing acute water crisis and suggested doing away with outdated and unscientific water application techniques. Now, the panel in its 40-page report has noted that farmers in both the states were in severe duress and adequate crop compensation must be provided to them. Meanwhile, on Monday, thousands of protesters participated in rail roko demonstrations in Tamil Nadu, demanding the centre to constitute the Cauvery Management Board.
Farmers in Tamil Nadu went on a 48-hour rail roko agitation across the state to support their demand for a Cauvery Management Board. Opposition parties, including the DMK, joined the protest. Leading a procession at Perambur, DMK leader M.K. Stalin was detained and later released by the police. In Pudukkottai, hundreds of DMK cadres blocked trains. More than 2,500 workers from the left, VCK and MDMK also staged protests in Thanjavur and Cuddalore. They were later detained by the police.
The union government should constitute the Cauvery Management Board immediately as per the direction of Supreme Court. This is our main demand, only one demand.
In Thanjavur district, the police arrested several farmers protesting on the rail tracks. More arrests were made at Pollachi, Metupalayam and Sulur railway stations in Coimbatore district. There is a heavy deployment of police forces at railway stations across the state to maintain law and order.
Farmers are suffering. There is no water. There is no, all the 3 season crops have failed. At about 17 to 18 lakh hectares of land is without water. Where will the farmers go? They will have to commit suicide. At least now the government of India should put pressure on the government of Karnataka or form the management board so that the control of Cauvery river goes to the management board and water is released to the Tamil Nadu farmers.
Meanwhile, a high-level technical team submitted its findings to the Supreme Court. The committee said farmers are suffering from water deficits in both Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. It suggested cooperation and efforts to give some relief to farmers in both states. The Supreme Court had sought the team to assess realities in the Cauvery basin areas in the 2 states. The court will hear a case filed by Tamil Nadu on the Cauvery river water sharing on Tuesday. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And the crucial 3-day meeting of the all-powerful GST Council starts today. Well, the meeting is to decide on the tax rate and sort out issues like a compensation formula for rollout of the new indirect tax regime from 1st of April next year. Now, with the Finance Ministry setting 22nd of November as the deadline for building consensus on all the issues in the Council, the meeting is significant as it will decide on the most crucial aspect of the tax rate that will have a bearing on the common man. In its previous meeting last month, the GST Council, which has all the state finance ministers as members, had finalized area-based exemptions and how 11 states, mostly in the northeast and hilly regions, will be treated under the new tax regime. Now, today's meeting will also deliberate on the vexed issue of the centre retaining power to assess 11 lakh service tax filers under the new dispensation. The Finance Ministry will try to reach a consensus on the key issues so that the subsequent central GST and the integrated GST legislations can be introduced in the winter session of Parliament that begins 16th of November. More news from across the nation in Nationwide. President Pranab Mukherjee has given his approval for a probe into the allegations of financial and other inapproprieties against Aligarh Muslim University's Vice-Chancellor Zamir Uddin Shah. The nod of the president, who is also the visitor to the university, comes on a proposal from the HRD ministry, to which former Janata Dal MP Wasim Ahmed had given a memorandum seeking a probe into the allegations against the Vice-Chancellor. The Election Commission on Monday announced dates for by-polls in 4 Lok Sabha and 8 Assembly seats to be held on 19th of November. While the notification will be issued on 26th of October, by-polls will be held on 19th of November and counting on 22nd of November. The Commission said that by-polls to Lakhimpur in Assam, Shahadol in Madhya Pradesh and Cooch Behar and Temluk in West Bengal Lok Sabha constituencies, along with by-polls to a total of 8 assembly seats in Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Tripura, Puducherry will be held on the same day. An FIR has been registered against the organizers of a religious congregation in Varanasi in connection with the stampede on Saturday, in which 25 people were killed and over 100 people injured while crossing the Rajghat bridge to participate in the event. 5 persons associated with the Jai Gurudev sect were booked for allegedly furnishing false information while seeking permission for taking out the procession and holding a 2-day camp. With the death of 2 more children, the toll in Japanese encephalitis outbreak today mounted to 56 in over a month in Odisha's tribal-dominated Malkangiri district. Unconfirmed reports, however, put the toll at 59 due to the vector-borne disease, which has affected around 99 villages spread over 6 blocks in the district. Time to get to some international news. An Iraqi military says that it has inflicted heavy losses of life and equipment on Islamic State in Mosul as Iraqi-led forces try to recapture it from the terror group. The Kurdish Peshmerga forces are playing a key role in the offensive, which started early Monday morning. Now, experts say that retaking the city would be symbolic, as Islamic State leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi had chosen Mosul as the place to announce the forming of a caliphate. But United Nations has warned that up to 1.5 million people could be affected by the battle for the city.
Campaign that could take some time. Early indications are that Iraqi forces have met their objectives so far and that they are ahead of schedule for this first day.
Iraqi forces have reported early gains in Mosul, about 24 hours into an offensive to reclaim the largest region in the country under the control of the Islamic State. A coalition of 30,000 Iraqi and Kurdish Peshmerga forces and Sunni tribal fighters began their advance after months of planning on Monday. Bolstered by initial gains, Iraqi forces are continuing their march into the city, already having captured close to 200 square kilometers.
200 kilometer مربع رزقار كراوة.
Up to now, 200 square kilometers been liberated.
أما قناغي كما بو رزقار كردني موصل لروشهالاتو لباشوري موصل اوبراسيون كداسي بكردوا وهو بشا لبيني.
The advancing forces are, however, expecting to encounter fierce resistance from IS fighters in the city, who have had months to prepare for the battle. There are about 5,000 to 7,000 of them in the city. IS deployed suicide car bombers throughout the day on Monday. The UN has expressed concern over lakhs of residents of Mosul, many of whom could not flee. Civilians here face potential threats from sniper attacks, booby traps, crossfire and explosives. Anti-IS coalition acknowledges the battle would be a hard fight, but say it was confident of victory.
كم جار أخواني پشمرگا و سرباز عراقی تکل دبی لشرکی واقع دجی تروریستانی داعش و اما امید مانوایا.
Mosul is the largest city under IS control and its last remaining stronghold in Iraq, before being seized by IS in June 2014, forming a vital part of its self-declared caliphate across swaths of Iraq and Syria. Mosul had more than 2 million residents. Only about 1 million residents of the city remain today. But the remaining ones hope for a decisive win, though the battle may last weeks or even months if the operation to retake Ramadi is any indicator. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Let's get you some more international news in World Wrap. Melania Trump has said obscene comments caught on videotape by her husband were unacceptable but did not represent the Donald Trump she knows. She said the Republican presidential nominee was guilty of boy talk but was egged on by host Billy Bush. In the video, Trump tells Bush, who was then the host of NBC's Access Hollywood, that he can force himself on women because he is a star. The tape prompted dozens of Republicans to drop their support for him. Floods in Vietnam's 4 central provinces have killed at least 11 people and displaced thousands, with a storm in the South China Sea approaching the central coast. Flooding from very heavy rainfall brought by a tropical low-pressure system since Wednesday have cut food supplies to thousands of people and blocked north-south traffic. A 72-hour truce in conflict-ravaged Yemen is set to begin on Thursday. The UN Special Envoy Ismail Old Sheikh Ahmed announced that he had received assurances from all the Yemeni parties for such a move. Yemeni President Mansour Hadi's forces have been fighting Houthi rebels who control the capital, Sana'a. Ahmed's announcement follows international alarm over the deaths of 140 people in Saudi strike, which hit a funeral gathering in Sana'a. In Syria, a new aerial bombardment flattened residential buildings in a rebel-controlled village in the northern province of Aleppo, killing at least 23 people. British-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said the hardest-hit area was in Cauvery, where rescuers were working to pull survivors from the rubble. The new deaths brought the 24-hour toll to 45. Well, that's all in this edition of news, but news and updates continue on your channel. Thanks for watching.